at home. Welcome to your talent program. Welcome to Abntv Paper Review here with me. My name is Kenny Afolabi and my co-colleagues here.
Ifeoluwa Adesanya.
So here with me I have the Punch newspaper and I have the Vanguard and Daily Trust paper. Firstly, we are going to feature into the Punch newspaper for today. Federal government commits West African industrial growth. The federal government states that it is committed to driving regional industrial growth and deepening manufacturing capacity and enhancing economic cooperation across West Africa. It endorsed the upcoming West African Industrialization and Manufacturing and Trade Summit and celebrations. According to a statement, the federal government, through its Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, signed its endorsement of the summit scheduled to air in Lagos in October 2025. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, John Enoch, said the federal government support for the summit reflects Nigeria's industrial agenda under President Bola Tinubu, Nigeria's first policy, which prioritized locally manufactured goods in government procurement. Enoch remarked, the commitments align with the mandates of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment and enlightening the nation's dedication to enhancing its manufacturing capacity and expanding trade opportunity across the continent. Federal governments commit to West African industrial growth. The full list of these stories inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
Here with me, I have the Tribune newspaper and the Guardian newspaper. First of all, let's venture into the Tribune newspaper. Economic reforms spur renewed growth, price, exchange rate stability. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said his administration's bold economic reforms are delivering strong growth, price stability, and more exchange rates. A trajectory recognized by both international financial institutions and industry stakeholders, writes Joseph Inokotong. In the commemoration of the 2025 Democracy Day, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu used his address to the National Assembly to highlight the benefits of economic reforms embarked on by his administration, including promoting growth, price, and exchange rate stability. The Central Bank of Nigeria roles in achieving these goals have been acknowledged by the World Bank, Fitch, and Moody's global rating agencies and other industry stakeholders who see the financial sector reforms led by CBN Governor Olayemi Kadoso as a strong enabler in Nigerian economic growth trajectory. The June 12, 2025 Democracy Day was a great opportunity for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to highlight the impact of ongoing economic reforms on the economy. In his address to the National Assembly, the President explained that upon assuming office, his priority was to reform Nigeria's early economy. He said, "We introduced fundamental reforms to correct structural imbalances that prevented maximum growth." The full details of this story is in the Tribune newspaper. Over to you, Kelly.
Another story here with me in the Punch newspaper for today. Falana slams federal government's ban over failure to prosecute suspects. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has criticized the federal government and Benue State government for consistently failing to prosecute suspects arrested in connection with violent attacks in Benue State. In a statement issued under the platform of the Alliance on Reviving COVID-19 and beyond, which it chairs, Falana on Sunday lamented that although hundreds of suspects have been arrested over the years for crimes ranging from illegal possessions of firearms to mass killings and kidnapping, most of them are never charged. It is reactions follow President Bola Tinubu's recent visit to Benue State, during which he directed the Nigeria Police Force to arrest and prosecute all those involved in the latest wave of the violence in the state. However, Falana described the president's order as potentially symbolic and pointing out that previous arrests had not led to the conviction or justice for victims. Falana also berated the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, for alleging that residents of the Yawata community provided shelter for killers. He described the statements as an attempt to shift blame onto victims instead of addressing the systemic failures of this security and governance. Falana slams federal government and Benue State over failure to prosecute suspects. The full list of these stories inside the Punch newspaper for today. Over to you, Ifeoluwa.
Moving to another story on the Tribune newspaper. 2027 controversy strays application to register ADA. ADC National Chairman disowned ADA, says coalition's platform may be unveiled this week. Controversy is trailing the application of the All Democratic Alliance to the Independent National Electoral Commission for registration as a political party. It is believed that the association is being promoted by the Nigerian National Coalition Group. In a letter dated June 19, the proposed party stated that it accompanied the application with the constitution logo and minutes of the promoters as part of the conditions of INEC for party registration. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar disowned reports that he and other leaders in the NNCG had adopted ADA as a new platform to challenge President Bola Tinubu of all the Progressive Congress (APC) in re-election bid in the 2027 election. Atiku's Special Assistant on Digital Media Strategy, Demola Olanrewaju, explained that there were still ongoing consultations by the leaders of the NNCG of all the Progressive Congress (APC) in re-election. Atiku's Special Assistant Demola Olanrewaju, ongoing consultations by the leaders. No decision has been finalized on the possible adoption. Is in the Tribune newspaper. Over to you.
It's me in the newspaper for today. PDP kicks as 8 p.m. blast Adeleke over OSUN VAT. The leadership of the Allied People movement in Osun State has berated Governor